Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's around 5 o'clock. Maybe it's a little later. I haven't really been tracking time today. Just finished up making up the first batch of salsa for the season. You saw the screenshot. I took the little thumbnail for this video or my live stream here. Labor of love. We make salsa about every summer for the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years. Had the kids help me. We picked some tomatoes this morning. Came back and then started processing some stuff. I've got a few more on the table that we're going to use for tomato soup tomorrow. We've got a recipe for that where we're going to be roasting some Roma. They're not Romas, they're San Marzanos and some other tomatoes that are on the counter there. But just trying to enjoy the fruit of the season, what we've got. So salsa recipe, if you guys look at my channel and kind of search the videos, I think I even have a playlist that's got some cooking stuff on it. I think I've got the recipe on there twice where we've documented how we make it and all of that. The key thing to remember, if you do decide to make the salsa, is that you don't want to season it until you cook it down to your desired consistency. If you are going to eat it fresh, it's fine. You can season it as is. But if you're going to cook it down, you don't want to add your salt or your cumin until after it's cooked down and at the desired consistency that you want. And somewhat cooled down too. Can really impact the flavor. I've made it before where we didn't do that, and I ended up seasoning it before we canned it, or before we cooked it down. We cooked it down, and it was just hardly worth eating because it was so just salty and stuff. So what I ended up doing was diluting it and just added more water back to it, so that it was edible. That we could tolerate it. But it's pretty good. I got a fresh batch here. I'll probably add a little more jalapeno than normal, but typically what will happen when you cook it down, it will lose some of the spiciness I've found, at least in years past. So adding a couple extra peppers should get it dialed back, so once it's cooked down it's still going to have the flavor that I want it to have, though it's a little bit spicier now. I'll probably put I'll add the recipe to the description later on once I'm done with the live stream here. Need to catch up on making videos. We've got some stuff that I've filmed and all that. It's just, it takes a lot of time to get that stuff processed because I'm shooting it on an iPhone and it doesn't play well with my PC that I've got. But to add the custom thumbnail with a title and some music to it, I have to run it through a video editor. And typically it takes, I don't know, at least an hour, 2 hours to get a video processed. Whereas live streaming like this, basically we're kind of doing our thing and all that. I can save it and most of it's already processed, because it's going through the YouTube servers and stuff like that. One of the things that's happening here now is my daughter, she's 16, my oldest, on the cusp of getting her driver's license. Her birthday's in December, so we kind of held off a little bit. But she finished driver's ed earlier this year, and wife's been a little bit better than I have about taking her out on her own. We've been letting, anywhere we've gone as a family, we've been trying to let her drive just to get used to, you know, everything, and develop what we've been kind of joking around with her about, that she hasn't had to really worry about, is what we call situational awareness. And what that is, just, you know, being aware of your surroundings, what other people are doing, basically having your head in the game, and you know, so you don't cause an accident. And there's been a couple times where we've been out and she got distracted or whatever. We blow through a stop sign, blow through a red light. She's done some things that, fortunately, you know, there wasn't oncoming traffic or anything like that, but, you know, on her own, I mean, it could have really been a bad deal. So we've been trying to talk to her about that. And it's just a kind of a reflection of her personality in general. She's more like me in the respect of being kind of laid back, and it takes a lot to kind of bother her. But on the flip side of that, I mean, to the observer, that could come out or come off as just not caring or being checked out. So anyway, it's something we've been talking with her about, developing a situational awareness and just trying to be more engaged, not just with the driving but with people too. You know, she tends to favor the quieter kind of loner activities like art and drawing and things that require you to just kind of reflect and really not talk a whole lot or interact, though she can interact and all of that. So I don't know, it's just been interesting. It looks like my salsa is boiling over there, so I'll take you over and show you kind of what we got going on over there real quick. Take you off the stand. I'm going on a little field trip to the other side of the deck here. There's the rest of the tomatoes that we're going to process tomorrow. Tried to dig out the ones that were cracked and just kind of not in real good shape. I might turn this down just a little bit. Almost to a simmer. Okay. Got this tripod. Actually, my father-in-law got it at a yard sale or something for like 10 bucks. It was just missing a little clip piece to hold a camera, and I got that for like, I don't know, 2 bucks on eBay, so it works out pretty good. There we go. So anyway, with the oldest daughter, um, teaching her how to drive, just kind of being patient with her, and just talking to her about kind of what we see, and it's constructive feedback. And I tried to make that clear to her today. We were driving around town, getting her used to using GPS. Since she's got a phone, that's a good way to kind of, be aware of what's going on as well. Have stuff programmed in so if she does get lost or whatever, she can make it back home. Because it's one thing to be riding around in a car with your parents and all that and kind of knowing where stuff is, but then another to be driving, and sometimes there's a little disconnect there. So anyway, just talking to her about this stuff. How that could hinder her if she lets it. There's a dog. By talking to her about it so that she can be aware of it and try to work at overcoming that, especially at work. Yeah, that's another thing is if you're not aware of time and don't have any kind of sense of urgency about things, you're going to irritate a lot of people depending on the nature of the work. Most places you get a job, they've got time standards or productivity expectations, things that they want you to accomplish in an amount of time. Time being kind of the most precious commodity of like a business owner or whatever, and they're paying you a wage. So if you don't have any kind of situational awareness or really sense of urgency or awareness of time, that's not going to bode well for you. And they might let that go a little bit, but eventually you're going to get probably a reprimand, or there's going to be a little conversation had to let you know you better pick up the pace, because there's things that need to be done. So anyway, talking to her about that, talking to the kids about that, it's important. I don't know about you guys who have kids out there, but there's just a lot of little lessons that they don't just automatically know, or a lot of knowledge they just don't have. Things they're just not aware of that you have to kind of take the time to explain, and explain the why behind the what, so that they understand why it's important, why it matters. Anyway, that's just some of the challenges there. The other thing that we were talking about with the kids is that sometimes it can be concerning, because especially as they get older, they can just kind of check out or just not be involved in family life, or tend to want to spend time alone, which that's fine to have some free time and whatnot, but to be off on your own all the time, that's not good. And so we tried to make everything we've been trying to do is just kind of be aware of how much time we're spending together as a family, and I don't know, just talking about things. It's one of the dangers of media and stuff like that. You know, right now I'm making a little vlog through YouTube because we do have a little bit of time set aside where everybody can just kind of hang out and do things that they enjoy. But we're intentional in terms of trying to spend some time together as well each day. And one of the things that we have to watch is that it's so easy, you know, when you get home from work or whatever, to just camp out and, you know, spend time on your phone, or I don't know, just not be engaged or spending time with the kids. The other night it was kind of striking. I took the younger two to a playground in town, and there were a lot of I don't know, so probably 10 other parents with their little kids. But what was kind of striking was, you know, look around. There were a few of the parents that were actively kind of playing with their kids, but most of them were there with kids, but they had the phone in their hand and just spent all their time on that, wasn't really paying attention to what their kids were doing. We've gone to family get-togethers like that as well, where, you know, we're hanging out and all that. I better put this dog up real quick. No. Anyway, we're at get-togethers, trying to spend time with family, and some of them are engaged, but there's a lot of them that are on their smartphones or whatever, kind of doing their thing. So this is pretty good. I could drink this stuff. Let's see, is there anything else we want to talk about while we're waiting for somebody to jump on here? The next thing the other thing, totally off subject, but as far as the things that we picked the last 2 days, we got a lot of hot peppers, so I'm going to need to figure something out with those. I've got a food dehydrator. I did some herbs, I think 2 years ago on it, and they burned them. It's just too hot. So I may go ahead and dehydrate some peppers and make some more flakes. I've still got a shaker full from a couple years ago. I've got a lot of red Thai chilies need to do something with. We're gonna have some Tabasco peppers here soon, so I'll be making trying to make a batch of hot sauce. We're looking at a couple different recipes. One of them involves vinegar, where you ferment them. You basically process the peppers and then ferment them in vinegar, and It's supposed to last indefinitely, so I may try that. Kind of see how that plays out. So, alright, well, we'll see if anybody else, maybe give it another minute or two. And if nobody jumps on here, I'll go ahead and get off of here and tend to the salsa over there. Alright, well, I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.